Hey everybody, this is make sure my phone's not sitting in this bracket the wrong way because I'll be pissed off when it don't work, which happens quite a bit with all these buttons on iPhones and everything. It slides down, shuts the volume off and all that. I think we're all right because we're not professionals here. We're just trying to make it work for the benefit of others. All right, here we go. All right, guys, you see me out here doing a lot of planting and everything. Let me show you. I'll pick this up and move it, do it now, then I have to do it later in case it rains, which I think it's going to happen. But you can see right here what I've done. I did this last night after work and did three of them today after work. All the bigger ones have different types of potatoes in it. They're purple potatoes. They're russet potatoes, two types of russet potatoes, purple potatoes, and that big green jug I just got done, that's doing red potatoes, right? These two little ones out here, I will put in the greenhouse. Those big ones I won't because it's supposed to rain the next day or two. And I mean, it's getting down cold at night, but it's not going to hurt potatoes. They go in early anyway. I'll move them inside after the rain's over, let them get wet. And then you can see in here, which we had done previously, look way back here and you'll see the onions, but you can see things leafing on all the fruit trees I moved in here. All the stems and branches are starting to turn green. Leaves are coming off them. The onions are coming up in other barrels. The garlic's starting to come up. So everything's, you can see the little green leaves. Whoops, sorry. And the coming up there in that bucket there, that's potatoes. I just put them in last weekend. So you see the strawberries coming back up, and this one here, this one there, that one there, and you can see right there with the green leaves in that red bucket, that is my raspberry bush. And I have another one towards the back there that kind of took a beating when I was overwintering, but still there. And you can see the parsley and stuff like that. Of course, I got my gloves on top of it, but that's starting to come back good. I refertilized everything and changed some dirt out and cut it back. I got to cut it back a little bit more, but everything's looking pretty good. And anything I have it's got a overwinter or has low issue, what I do typically is I put it in here because I got the little heater here, and I keep the heater now on like 40. And all it's doing is because it's been out in this other greenhouse over here for 3 or 4 months, the overwinter and stuff, and the new stuff I just put in there just for a little more protection. I put it in here and kind of get it a little more temperature sensitive to what's going to happen with it with these cooler nights and until it gets warm out. So it's just an introductory thing to the plant, so I'm not just putting them out there and shocking everything right away. See here, I just picked some more buckets up today. Can you believe that? Me picking up more buckets, more you know what from my garden? It's just not like me. But I picked them up, and there's Home Depot buckets. They're on sale right now in case anybody want to know. But you can see the holes drilled in them. It's like 5 or 6 holes drilled around the bottom side of them. And that's, like I told you 4 million times, just to get rid of all the moisture from plants love moisture. I've told you that a million times, and they just don't like sitting in it. You see, I use that Miracle Grow potting soil. I've used a number of ones. Whatever's on sale, whatever one's close to price or a decent price, I just pick it up. I'm not real particular. There's the Black Cow down there. This, what I use in the bigger mixers, like when I'm doing this much dirt like I have right here right now, I use a little bit of this filling holes and leveling dirt because your costs, when you start talking dirt and everything you do, it just gets outrageous, and especially nowadays. And you can see underneath all that's that big, there's a green bag that's smashed down now, but that was, the one that's like 2 foot high, 3 foot wide, full of peat moss down there. So that's what I use to plant everything in, and I'm going to use my trailer behind my tractor to mix stuff up, but the car's bad on. I got the carb today, but I'm not going to fool it now. I want to get these in. So hand mixed all this together, and see, you get a big bag of bone meal there. Right over there is a big bag. There's blood meal on the other side. That's the different potatoes I got left, and I got one bag over there I still have to get done. But I normally don't plant too many potatoes in 5-gallon buckets. I put them in bigger containers. They just seem to do better, but I got a lot of cloth containers I've purchased over the years. You know, the black cloth one with the handles on, which you can see here. And for some reason, don't ask me why, but it seems like peppers and eggplants and stuff like that seem to do better in theirs because they air out more. They stay more dry because it's material more or less. But potatoes just don't. They grow in there. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they don't, but they just don't seem to. Sweet potatoes grow better in them, but the regular potatoes don't seem to. Like when you dump a whole bucket, all that you go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 bags of dirt to do 2 big bags, 20-pound bags or 30-gallon bags. And when you get done doing that, you put the effort in, you pull it out. Sometimes you flip it over. You're like, son of a bitch! You should be getting 5 or 6 potatoes per a seed potato. Now, that's real good, and that's what the normal average is, 5 to 6 per potato. But when you open something up and you've only you put all that work in, they're either real small or they're you just don't get the count you think you should be getting out of that big of a bag with dirt where they can move around. It just bothers the crap because you got to buy all the special dirt, mixing some old dirt, and then you got bone meal, blood meal. This depends on what you're using, lime, what you're growing. And you put that on, mix it all in. Like I said, sometimes it was getting cheaper to buy the plants, but even when you buy a plant, what I'm finding out is a lot of these plants, even when you buy them, like I'm seeding them all this year, you already saw that, but even when the years I didn't seed, I bought some of theirs, and some I seeded, some I seeded, and some I bought, it depended on the years. The last 2 years, I kind of went to probably 50-50, and no matter if it's ready to go and grown for you or seeded or whatever, and your dirt level is just perfect, and I got an irrigation watering system off timers and all that great stuff. There's the weather and everything can just affect it just incredibly, and bugs and different things you get. You just be amazed at all the different things can affect it. Just when you think you got it nipped in the butt and you're doing it can get really frustrating. But at the same time, that's why I try something different all the time. I've actually kind of flooded these buckets this year because they're bigger, like the bigger ones over there, and used 3 seed potatoes on the bottom. I go up about 8 inches, and I use two or three more on the top in between, because when you pull these potatoes out, when they grow, they'll grow. Like I said, they don't grow vertically up and down the branch or trunk of the potatoes that's coming up out of the ground. They go out side to side, and you start dumping them. Sometimes you're like 3/4 of the bucket's dirt. And even if you get 40 potatoes out, you're like, it's a lot of dirt and a lot of waste to, and you got to have a certain amount of depth in case something goes wrong, and to get them moisture, and otherwise you'd be out. If you only had a thin amount of dirt, they would never work, because they would never sit in the darkness and they would never get the moisture in which you needed. So I'm trying to over seed this year for the first time ever, just to see. If it don't work, that's what they say about gardening. You change things and you try it, and we're going to try it this year with overseeding some of the things. I'm not going to do it with 5-gallon buckets because they only do so much. But the bigger ones, I'm going to try them. We're going to see where it goes. So I'm going to set us back up here. Excuse the shaking of the camera there. And let me get this thing set up again. Oh, and I forgot to show you what I was showing you. This dirt. I'm sorry. When you mix that dirt up, so you want to use 2 bags of potty mix, 2 big bags of potty mix, a bag of leveling soil, a bag of cow manure, and then probably about 6 to 8 huge shovels of peat moss. You mix all that together, and it's a real dry texture, foamy type of soil, and that's exactly what you want. And you'll see now we're going to start putting in the buckets, putting potatoes in, putting our fertilizers on top, and getting them in there and setting in and strawing them up. And like I said, I probably won't order them today. We'll see how it goes, but because it's supposed to rain so heavy tomorrow. But then I can just get these together, and then I can move them inside the other greenhouse or do something with them when I want. But right now I'm just trying to get them in and planted, because the seed potatoes I bought that are in the little white bags over there, I had them downstairs for a while, and I normally got to put them somewhere to get them seed, and I didn't. I just left them downstairs where he sit around and wasn't thinking about it. And I got a pellet stove down there. Well, it was so warm down there for the last 3 or 4 weeks. They just went to seed like you wouldn't. And I'm like crazy. And I went over there probably about a week ago. So I wonder how these things are doing. I'm going to take them outside and get this stuff done. And I was like, holy crap, they were seeding like crazy. So you'll see when I put them in that it was just kind of a little bit of a mess with the well, this phone just wants to constantly move down. Sorry about that, guys. Um, so it's just kind of a mess there, dealing with the seed potatoes and getting them out here. Or I could have waited a little bit longer, but like I said, generally the 1st of March, I start them already into the 20th, someday of March, of getting my stuff ready to go. And there's a pain in the season mixing and planting and getting everything ready, but it's good. It's good and it's not good. It just got to deal with it. But let's go ahead and get these things in these containers. I'll show you what I do with them, because I've never think I've done one on a 5-gallon bucket before. I've always done them on the bigger containers. So we'll do one here on a 5-gallon bucket and show you how I do it. And then, because 5-gallon buckets are much easier than big ones. So let's get started on this and see how we do this. Make sure. I haven't tried all this stuff in a while. Well, I've tried the microphone, but sometimes it works. And sometimes it don't. And you charge it, and sometimes you think it's doing it. Sometimes you think it's just, computer science stuff we got nowadays, and just don't want to work. So you want to get about 4 to 5 inches. I say 3 to 4, but now you're in a smaller bucket, so I'm going to say just a little bit more on this one. So about 4 to 5 inches in the bottom of these buckets, right? Then you're going to pop it in there. And the smaller, tiny little seed potatoes you get out of a bag, you can put 3 in the bottom of these things. But if they're big seed potatoes, real big, you have to cut one in half, one potato in. But if they're medium size, you can put 2 medium ones in. But after that, they won't have any room to really grow that much. So now that now we got a little level of dirt. Let me get this hoe over here. Now we got them in there. We just want to just work that dirt down a little bit, make sure it's all sitting there the way we want it. All right. We're not like trying to beat it down in there or nothing. We're just getting it to a point. And let's see what we got left here to paint still. I know I still got a bunch of Yukons, but I don't think I'm going to get to those today. So we're going to see what we got here. What looks bad as far as seed. And I got to mark them with these red markers, which I do everything. Because I can remember every plant in my garden and do everything. And now I can't even know why I walk out to the shed every time. So that's what it seems like, at least. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to finish up these red ones here. And we get a drink. Hi, man. He's a good smoking weed sometimes you get older here. God, man. Alright. We're going to use these red, like I said, they went to seed. That's a nice red one that went to seed. See how bad it went to seed, but I'm going to get rid of any of the olives to the left except the 2 small ones on the top. That big one there. There's one down here. I just dig them off my nail. But that's small enough, medium size enough, let me say it right, that I can just put in the bottom of the bucket dirt and just spin it right on down there. Right? Let's see what else we got in here. Another one. Said I went to got the olives on them, started seeding out already. Just wait. I never put them in this advanced. I put them in a little less advanced where they're just stubs and go from there. But since it's only so much, okay, so I got 2 of them in that bucket right across from each other with the olives and the gross straight, right? And we gotta get a shot of bone meal right on top of all that, right? And we're gonna get a shot of bone meal right on top of that. That's all we gotta do with that one right now, right? So I'm gonna continue this real quick and some more dirt in here just so we can get to the next bag of potatoes. Alright, there's a shovel. See, I got too much going on here. I need my gardening assistant here, and she's now with the somewhere with for behavioral stuff and getting a bath for really the first time, I mean, she's been wiped down with certain stuff and wet and dried her off and all that, but real bad. Um, she's sweetest dog in the world, but she's had a little. We got her in a rescue place, and since we've gotten her, she has a real bad habit of getting her eyes locked on you. Not me. I mean, it's maybe happened twice in 3 years to me. But my son, she growls around him all the time, like she's just used to it. And not a mean. Anybody else would be a mean girl, but her, it's fun. So, um, hold on, let me get these down. So these are sitting this way in this bucket. So we're going to set these opposite way up high. Get rid of these extra. That's we're going to pop that there. And like I said, normally I only use 2 of these, but since I got so many, I just one high and they're all right over here now. Use 2 a little higher here. Okay, so same thing, little plug me on top of those 2. Little bone meal on top of those 2. We're ready to go there, right? Then we gotta dirt that off from all the stuff we already pre-mixed that we were telling you about how much you needed before to use. So we want to get this thing filled up here pretty much. And like I said, I'm not trying to go against everything, but typically I don't use, these in a bucket, especially this size bucket, but I have so many of them, and plus, the last couple of years I've been not unhappy with my harvest. My harvest has been excellent harvest, but I've had to grow and put so much into these things to make them, what's the right word? All I gotta do is that, put a tag in. I know it's red. And some on top of the tag in and with a damn real good. So they'll be red, so that's what I preach to everybody. But I put a tag on there. Everybody says, how's it going? I will, but I do this for others that are here to come around the house because I can tell what everything is in my garden by the way it grows and stems. But if the wife or son of them come out and I'll say, hey, go out and check on, the zucchini or cauliflower or eggplant sales doing, unless they see it directly grown on the thing is just leafing up, and I want them to check out how it's doing overall, just growth wise. They had no idea. No idea. So, it's off anyway, so I might as well. That was marked there, and I'll just throw it up. And I'm done. So, really, the potatoes left. I'm trying to think what I had left in these other ones. I don't know. I had more than them left. And more than that. So I'm probably going to get a couple more containers and buckets out, but I'm not going to do it today because it's on day. So there's a little, you see the car on that, that'll be a nice size potato when it grows up. So I'm going to put one down on this one, right? There's one that's a little long, but since it's going down low, I'm not too worried about it. And I'm going to still point it up, but have the both of you got it to the side. So you got a little blood meal, right? A little bone meal, right? So let me get some more soil in these. Now, of all the potatoes, the purple and red are just amazing. And people say, now, like I said earlier this year on one of my videos, I think I already talked to you. Last year I had, I'm trying to remember, we had as far as the sweet potato grows, but it was outrageous. I planted. I wanted to try, and you'll see in my videos if you ever back up at them. I wanted to try a bunch of different ones. I was just like, yeah. Because once you get started on this kind of stuff, you're kind of like, you're kind of nuts. You just keep trying different stuff and growing. You're like, stop. But like I said, you'll see if you ever do this, it just gets real practice when you're done. So these 2 are this way. And below them, I put these 2 that opposite way, crossways of them, right? There's purple ones here. And see, that one's too long for me. These last 3 are really long. I'm just going to look for the healthiest one out of them all that I see. And this one, I think, no, I think this one's better. It's got two outlets off even one on the great, but at least it's got a growth off the top. So it's just like a cross or a T when you put these in. So put it down that way and that. Right. But if you're putting in potatoes that big, or you're putting in medium-sized, bulky type of growing potatoes, you can only put one or two in here. You can't put nothing above them because while they won't grow up, there's not enough room to kind of expand up in the bucket. But when you're in those bigger containers over there, they'll just go out and they won't do anything at all, and you'll be just pissed off. Like I said, the only thing I'm changing this year is I'm going against my blood milk is my own way of growing for the last 10, 12 years. Is I just I'm trying to use the space I want. That's all I'm trying to do. Trying to use the dirt up more and see. In other words, gardening. No, you don't want to hear all this. And then I'm going to get this bucket done. Then I'm going to move on to the Yukons and the Kennebacks and other type potatoes here. But so what I did last. Let's get back to what I was even saying. I don't think I finished that subject. As far as sweet potatoes, what I did last year is I went and oh, you know what? I'm going to do something great here. I'm always growing sweet potatoes. I always grow typical brown sweet potato with the orange filling in it or whatever. And I said, that's great. I don't eat them, but but everybody else loves sweet potatoes. Well, I did them. And I grew purple with white inside. I grew purple with purple inside. I grew red with red inside, red with white inside, brown with white inside, brown with orange inside. I grew 7 or 8 different varieties of sweet potatoes I went out and got. And seeded in a big plastic container inside, left them in there for like 2 months till they started coming up. Cut them off at the roots and everything, soaked them in water for a week or two after I got them out of there. Put them in my big trash cans over there like you're used to me doing. And when I was done with my sweet potatoes last year, I'm pretty sure I had 120 pounds of sweet potatoes, which I was like, hey, look what I got. You know about those sweet potatoes? But then I found out I don't eat them, but I found out that they like them, but they don't want to prepare them or they don't want to do this. Or it's weird to go out and eat them at dinner. When you take them out to dinner, then they're home like, I've had enough sweet potatoes. You're like, you want me to plant it? You told me you could eat them all the time. And with that many potatoes, it's just not necessary. Now, if these regular potatoes, we eat these up in no time, normally. Problem is sometimes you don't get the size on them and they're a pain to do, but what we'll do is just wash them off, clean them up, cut little cuts in them, or whatever we got to do, slice them up a little bit, throw them a little oil, make some breakfast potatoes out of them, delicious with some seasoning salt on them. So, but my daughter, just the one that moved to PA, she was just telling me that she, see, here's old time stuff. She took sweet potatoes last night. She took sweet potatoes with her, I think it was an air fryer, and she cooked them up French fries. I mean, they were just, it was so cool to see that done. Now, I don't have an air fryer. We've just never, these are purple, okay. We just never had an air fryer. I think we have one, brand new one, down in our house in Florida to try that we were given or we bought or something, and just never used it. But she sent that picture later, and I was like, I like sweet potatoes. I like French fries. Sometimes you can see that too, but we eat them and eat them and eat them. But I just went and looked at it, I was like, man, they look so good. Well, I might even try them. Sweet potatoes, they might even taste good. I'm just not. I'm just a potato, plain potato, meat, potatoes, and certain types of vegetable type person. That's all I am. I know that sounds kind of redundant. I say it all the time, but it's just the truth. I'm not into a lot of what others into. I'm not into, like I said, I like onions, the taste of them, the smell of them, when they're mixed in stuff, all that's great. But a regular raw onion, put an onion on a hamburger, or bite into a raw hamburger, or raw onion, or bite it even a cooked big onion and something like an onion ring or something. I'm out. I can't stand it, but I love it. And eggs if they're making something. Oh well, but I'm just saying it's weird because I can do certain stuff I eat is a little exotic to other people. That they're like, I can't maybe eat scrapple. I eat a pound of scrapple every day. And people are like, you know what's in that? You're like, oh, it tastes good. So, but as far as a lot of the other vegetables and the stuff I grow here, that's all for them and for my enjoyment to grow them and show you how to grow them, what I do. But they, uh, they love them. That's why I do and make them. And but there's, like I said, in the garden, I peas, beans, potatoes, corn, a few other things I use like onions and garlic. I grow a lot of. I don't just do put garlic in something and mix it in real good, cut it up. Um, I think it's more the texture than the taste. I don't eat tomatoes. I can't stand tomatoes. But everything that tomatoes are in, like ketchup, spaghetti, dipping sauces and all that, love it. Love it. But I can't eat it in the tomato really raw or the way I. So that's enough of that. But everybody has a different thing or test. When I saw those pictures going back to those, uh, senior mom, sweet potatoes, she cooked on the air fryer. So I was like, that's pretty cool. You see something you have, you grew, that somebody is using and cooking with it, and you're getting used to it because I just gave neighbor on each side of me just recently. I gave him two 1 gallon bags of sweet potatoes. That's a lot of sweet potatoes. We just couldn't get rid of it. You know, they told me they did. So then from giving that away, and like I said, I got freezing. I cook all that stuff, I can a lot of stuff, I jar a lot of stuff, pepper jellies and all that. I can do all that. I don't need any of it. I jar it. I don't do it all. My garden gets too much, and I just in the year, middle of the year, I just start handing out to the neighbors. If we go to anything, I bring it. Just get rid of it. It's not the point of, oh, you make money, which I just enjoy growing it, put that there for everybody. But the big thing is it's a sickness. Because once you start, it's at least I am. Uh, but the big thing is like my freezer now is more than 50% of my garage is full of vegetables from last year. And I gotta get rid of them to get rid of this stuff. People like cooking up. You can cook so much when both of you work and you do all this, and we'll prepare stuff. It's pretty tough all the time. So you see that my neighbors are watching this, and my friends at work, I'll be bringing stuff into everybody's gonna be frozen. So if you want it, tell me what you want because I'm gonna have peppers, tomatoes, all kind of stuff, and you can make your own sauce and your own peppers and different stuff. You can watch my video on how I made. That's about it. I got this rest to finish up. It's getting a little damp out here. Not a little bit. It's gotten damp out here, and I'm gonna raise this camera up here a little bit to see just kind of what's going on in the back there. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Like I said, I'm not a videographer, nothing like that. I'm surprised I can even do this. I'm gonna let you go. I got still gotta get before this heavy rain they're talking about comes in. I gotta get these covered in straw, get them watered a little bit so the straw stays on top, and then I gotta get the rest of this dirt used up or at least covered. Everything's got to be closed. Power's got to be turned back onto the heater. All kind of stuff I got. And it's a couple hours worth of stuff to get done. And with the wind picking up, and you can feel the moisture getting a little heavy, I'm gonna cut out here, and we're gonna just keep planting. And any questions, which a lot of you do, or you want to know anything about it, or about potatoes or anything else we're doing when we plant, you just let us know. I wish I had a video putting the asparagus in, but I was just got too busy and just didn't feel like stopping at that time. I only did this because I know people like potato videos. I see that a lot. And if people just realized they were simple, they would do a couple buckets or barrels of potatoes in the yard or something. They don't have to have a big garden, do it all bubbly, and they'd be amazed at the taste of a potato that comes out of a container. You dump it out, you can take them right out of the garden. If you're not storing them and you're keeping them and you want to eat them, you can take them, wash them right off, get all dirt off them, scrub them down. You can cook them things right up. Or a lot of times I just unpeel them a little bit, take the skin off, and salt shaker and eat them fresh potatoes. I'm telling you, it's amazing taste to eat fresh potatoes just out of the ground. Totally different than anything you buy uh, that you can mix together with water or milk or cooked in a restaurant or something like that. When you're eating fresh potatoes out of your ground or out of your containers, you would say, I'm growing these every year. Even if you only did 2 or 3 barrels of them, that's what you did all summer. Nothing else in your yard. You just had a couple big barrels of growing tomatoes, and once you fertilize them like I do and put them in that dirt, just a matter maybe once in takes like the short-term tomatoes take 3 months. The long-term potato, if I say tomatoes one more time, the short-term potatoes take roughly around 3 months, 90 days. The long-terms take like 120, depending on what type you have. Um, but if you put them in by the end of June, you put them in like this time of year. By the end of June, you set them in. All you gotta do is water them. And if it's been raining for a little bit for the week or so, you ain't gotta do nothing with them. Fertilize them maybe a month and a half into your 3 months, just sprinkle a little bit on the top, water it in a little bit, maybe put some fresh straw on it, and then you just let them go. And come the end of June or first week of July, you're seeing them die back. They're time to come back. They're falling over. They're dying. You just cut the tops off, dump the bucket, whammo! You got a ton of potatoes. And when you wash them, you cool them, you take them up, and you're like, phew. I'm just telling you, they're when potatoes are fresh out of the ground, it's nothing like it. It's like eating a fresh piece of meat coming off a cow. I don't know how to explain it, but if the cow just got butchered or they just got a whole side of beef in a beef shop and you went and bought steaks and took them home, there's nothing better than fresh steak and fresh potatoes. It's like they just like vegetables. They're the same way, not frozen, not canned, not. But you get them, I get them green beans, or I get the certain stuff out of here, lettuces and stuff, and they're fresh out of the garden. Uh, and I'm not into that stuff. I'm just telling you, it's amazing tasting. I wish I ate more of what I grew because all the squash and zucchinis and everything I grow every year, I wish I did more, but ate more of it, but I don't. And that's just the way it goes. But let's get off that. Listen, I'll be coming out with something probably another week and a half. I think we're going to get into. I got, like I said, all my seedlings upstairs. I got to get back to you with. I want to show you where they're standing. They're getting real big already, and I got to move them into bigger pots and bigger things to still keep the lights on. So they'll be ready. I'm thinking by mid-April. They're going to be way too big, and I'm going to put them in bigger containers in another week or two. But then once I put them in those, I have to watch them, and I'm going to have to probably take them and get them out of the containers I have upstairs and just put them out on the porch or something when it's not too cold at night. And just take a couple more lights that I have upstairs, the grow lights, and move them down there and just put them on a bench or something. Just keep them all down there because they're just. I think I got 72, and that's not all. I mean, that's 72 just seedlings. And worst part is normally you're looking after 3 or 4 big trays. I got a planting vegetable seeds on it. You look at it, you're like, those aren't growing. Those look like crap. Those are never going to do anything. And you go through them all. Well, the problem is when you open them trays up and you look at them and you see that you got like a 90 to 95% grow rate and everything's coming up. You're like, I just can't throw them out. I got to do something with them. So, not that I wanted to grow all that this year. I was going to cut way back. But we're going to see how it goes. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Don't forget to go out to YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, X. Oh, geez, I can't think of them all right now. Instagram and Pinterest. We're out on everything, just with videos and little things. And sometimes I'll put a little something in there about my grandkids because they're just so sweet to me and my dog or something. But otherwise, I try to stick to nothing controversial or nothing like that. All right, guys, you have a great weekend. I'm going to shut this thing off and we will be talking to you soon.